Hi, today we're going to sew our pages, our signatures into the little Golden Book Easter Junk Journal. And I will show you the supplies that I use. First of all, I put like a foam mat underneath. You don't really need it, but like cardboard, something thick underneath could be helpful because you'll be using the awl to poke holes through your pages and through your journal. Then I use graph paper. I use wax thread, trying to get to it. And I'll list all this stuff below so you know. And then I use these needles. This says soft sculpture doll needles. You could use any good size needle, but I'll list that below too. And I start with the graph paper, and I already had this from previous journals, and I just keep it and reuse it over and over. But I count the squares and count down, but there's other easy ways that I've seen people do it. First you're gonna measure from the top to the bottom how your graph paper, and then we know the spine is 2 inches. So I measure that and I cut this to the exact size of our spine. And then we're going to use washi tape to put it down and hold it into place. But another easy way, because all these little holes are where I'm going to put holes in my spine and in my signatures. But another easy way I've seen people do, they fold their paper in half. And so then that's exactly where my holes are, there in the middle. And then they put the holes in the middle. And then they fold it again and they do their holes here, which mine's off a little bit because I like to start closer to the top, but you don't have to. So that's another easy way to place your holes, and then you can count over. So here, for example, I came down 5 squares from the top, and then every 2 squares I put a hole across. So right there, there, and there. But you could do it here if you like and do the fold method, which is another easy way instead of counting squares. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that there, and I put top because sometimes they're not created equally. So where it goes to the top, I put the top, and then I get a piece of washi tape to hold it in place. I get more than one piece just to be safe, just so it's not moving when I'm poking holes. Put one there. And the reason I use washi tape because it comes up easy when you're ready to remove it. And we just really wanted to hold it into place. And I will put a piece at the top and one at the bottom also. It might be overkill with the washi, but I'm more on the side better safe than sorry. I could even hold it to this board here, that way. And so I've drawn my holes, and I've used this previously, so it already has the holes. So I'm gonna take my awl. I call it the wrong thing sometimes. That's just me. And I'm going to poke it through the book. And so we're going to do that 12 times. where we have these marked. And like I said, this is where, when you fold it in half, exactly where it's at, so we know those are placed right. And this foam board underneath just protects it from me hurting my table. Okay, so now they're all there, and we're just gonna flip it around and make sure it looks good, that like it went through the other side. Yes, so there you could see our holes, how they've gone through the other side. And before you go ahead and sew your signatures in, just go flip through each one of your signatures and make sure everything is lined up where you want it. And I'm not going to go through each one with you, but that's what we do. We just make sure they're all lined up exactly in place, because like for example, this in the middle, I want my doily to show a little bit on each side, or definitely on the top. So you're just gonna go through your pages and make sure they're lined up the way you want them. Then once you've gone through and made sure they're all placed where you want them, you're going to clamp your pages together. And I even have, sometimes I like these big paper clips, because it's going to come down far enough for here. So I like using these sometimes. And other people use these clamps. So you want to use whatever clamps you feel like that are going to work best for you. You're just securing all your pages down, and so that they're tight together. So I'll do this, and then I'll bring this down like that, and that's holding that one in place also. And then I had that little bag on the outside too, which I want to make sure it's being held down by something. So however you want to secure your pages so they're tight together before you sew in your signature. And then another thing too is to make sure your pages are all going the right way, you know, that you're not sewing it in upside down, because that could happen. And I like to use the wax thread because it's user friendly if I needed to take it apart or anything. So then what I'm doing is I'm coming over to here and finding that center with that same graph paper. And this paper is actually, my paper here is a little bit taller. So I think what I'm going to do, oh yes, because I came up further here. And so I'll want that part to stick out the top. So I'm going to even up the bottom that way. We're going to use the bottom as our, because if you have paper sticking out, you want it to stick out the top, not the bottom, because you want it to sit straight. So what I'm going to do is look to see where this line comes over, and I'm going to take my awl and follow this line and poke my first hole there. And you could tape it down so it doesn't move on you. And I hold it like this and make sure my hand's out of the way and place my awl through there. Then I'm going to do the next line and place it through there and make sure I go through all the pages. So see, it's sticking out. And now we're going to do it one last time down here. And there you see it's come through. So then what I'm going to do, so this is my first signature. I'm making sure it's my first signature. Then what I do is I get my wax thread and I make sure, I thread the needle and I make sure that it's long enough. And my rule of thumb is I go 1 length, 2 lengths, from the top to the bottom of the page, 3 lengths to make sure I have enough thread. So I'm going to do that, cut it, pull this out of the way. Okay, so we've poked our holes and we're going to start off by going through the middle. Then we're taking it through the middle of the book, and it's our front. We're working on the front of the journal first. Our first signature is what I meant to say. So we've gone through the middle there, and now we're taking it through the middle of the spine. Now we're going to come up through the bottom hole on the spine and through the bottom hole on our signature. I see that I'm not in the frame. Sometimes it's hard when your camera's in the way when you're trying to show what to do. Alrighty, so I'm gonna pull it through and leave just a little tail, and I'm gonna hold on to that tail, and I'm gonna hold on to this tail pretty tight because when I go through the center hole again, I do not want to go through my thread because that makes it so you can't tighten it when you go through the thread. So you want to make sure you're missing that thread in the center. And this is called a 3-hole pamphlet stitch that we're doing. So we came back out on this side, and I'm making sure I'm not getting snagged with the pages. There we go. Back through there, and then back through the spine. Center hole. And here we're coming back through there. And then we're going to take it to the top and feed it through. Sometimes it can get wrapped around your clamps, but you just have to maneuver it. And I'm making sure that the center, that I didn't go through that piece of thread. Okay, so now we're going back through the top of the spine. Back through there. Sometimes if you have like a little rubber thimble, that helps. But of course I didn't have mine out. somewhere safe around here. Story of my life. Okay, so I've gone through the top of the spine of the book, now through the top of the signature. And now we're just going to pull our threads tight. And I like to go and check out the spine, make sure it's pulled tight there. So we're pulling them tight, making sure that's good. Making sure it's lined up good. And then what I do is I take this thread and take it through with my needle and loop it through there. And then I'm going to double check the spine again. Make sure we still have it tight. Make sure, and that's hanging out a little bit over the top, but that's okay. And then at this point, I take these clamps away just to make sure I'm getting closer to the book and it's all tight. Take the needle off. I'm a double, triple checker. Okay, so we have it tight. And now we're gonna tie it. And I do either 2 or 3 times. Maybe 3 times could be a good rule of thumb. And it looks good to me. And now, how many ever signatures you did in your book, you're gonna go continue to do the same thing. Through each one, you could pause this and re-watch it, go back. Okay. The other signatures, I think, were even. So again, go through your signatures, make sure they're the way you want them, that the pages are all lined up, and you're going to do that same thing, the same steps. Alrighty, all our signatures have been stitched in, and now the fun part begins. What I like to do while you see all these little pieces here, I like to go to the center of my signatures and put just little pieces of little cutouts that I've done. Maybe like this one could have little flowers on the end of each of the wax threads. I could do that flower. I have like little tulips. So now the fun begins and we can start embellishing our journals and decorating them. And I think I'm going to take ribbon through here and just start having fun. Okay, I've done a few things off camera. I went through and put these different random things on the end of the signature tags. Used washi on the side of that flower and then did that. Put this little flower here and put a pearl on that side. Didn't put one on that side just so it closes and it doesn't stick up a lot. I ran some ribbon through the holes on this. I thought that was fun. Let's see what else I've done while we were away. Oh, I did a post-it that I want to show you. It's in here somewhere. We'll find it. Oh, I stuffed this envelope, this collection envelope, with my printables that are little postcards, Easter postcards, and I love them. So those are out there on my Ko-Fi, and I thought they looked adorable just sticking up through the collection envelope. showing? Oh, I did some trim on this page, some butterflies. And then that I just glued down, so I didn't have to worry about running that through the sewing machine. Okay, Meg sent me this postulette. And I'm like, well, let me try to do something with it. Usually the postulates have like a sticker on it that you close. It's usually a gold sticker. Well, I took my printable and fussy cutted it, the tulips, and then glued it just right so this will tuck into there. Almost like a match case, you know how you tuck the one end into there? That's what we've done. And so then it has my little printable inside. It opens up to the little girl in there. And I love how it looks like a little garden gate. And I thought, okay, let's try to do something interesting with her postulette. So I thought it came out cute. What else have I done off camera? Oh, this one I was going to put, oh, I did. Okay. I was like, wait, I thought I did this. Okay, so this has an egg on the end of it. And then this has a tulip. At first, when I looked at it, it was so busy, I couldn't tell that there was those on the end. I'm like, did I not do that? Okay. And then I put little duckies on the end of these signature ties. And I think they're a little bit different on the flip side. Okay, and I think, okay, I showed you that signature tie. Which one am I missing? Oh, this one. It has little bunnies, and then it has little flowers. So that's what I did with those. And what I was going to do is I have this library card holder that I got from a church thrift sale. And I was going to stick it down in the back. Remember how I said I wanted to do a library card holder in the back? So I'm going to stick that there. And I'm going to go ahead and cover that info about the church. And I thought I would cover it with this. This is KB and Friends printable. I love her stuff. And I have some other printables, like I'm going to use this and these others in here. Let me show you some of her printables. They came out great. Let's see if I have the same thing underneath here. Oh, yep. I printed them twice so I could use them in the 2 different journals that I'm doing. Okay, I also had one of these bingo cards, and Meg from Chasing Retro sent me this plastic, and I thought it was the coolest thing. It has bunnies and flowers, and so I've covered it, and I still need to trim it, and I'm going to put in here some glitter and sparkles and sequins. And then I'm going to seal it, and it'll be a shaker card. So that I'll use somewhere else. This I could glue down. What else have I been doing? Okay, so I showed this earlier in my videos. It's a paint chip, and it says egg yolk at the top. And it was from Martha Stewart Living. I feel like this is pretty vintage. I believe Kmart might have carried her paint. So what I've done, and I had 2 of them because I'm going to put one in my other journal that I'm doing, is I took my dye, ran it through my Big Shot machine, and made negative space. And I'm going to put this. We're going to look for where we think it looks good in the journal. But let me go ahead and glue this down real quick, and then we'll move along and look to see what else we want to do here. Let's see. And so that works just right at covering that up. And we'll see where we want to put that. I don't like that in there. I sort of like it somewhere where the negative space is good. That could be a good place. So let's just take a peek through. That would be really cute. That's too much yellow going on. And this is why I love the plain pages, because it gives me places to do other things with. This isn't bad. I like that the bunny looks white and it makes it really pop there. So I'll hold that spot and we'll glance to see where else we think it could be a good fit. That's cute, but not my fave. I have another backing that's white, and maybe that's a good place. And then what I try to do is find some bright paper clips and decide what's a good fit with what we have. I almost like the butterfly. Let's see what the butterfly looks like. That's sort of fun. It doesn't really look like, oh, maybe I'm doing it the wrong way. There we go. Well, that's, okay, we'll put it there for now, and if we decide to move it later, we can do that. Trying to see if there's anything else I did while I was off camera. But I did love how this ribbon went through, and I like how it's sticking up. My cousin does that, and I just think that's so fun when they're sticking up like that. And I've never thought to do that. Oh, I also have, this is an old box of food coloring egg dye. And I thought I could put this somewhere and use it as a little tuck spot or a pocket. So I want to find a home for that. Sort of like it here. And I might staple that on, but I'm just going to put it there with a paper clip for now, and then come back and decide if I want to glue that down or staple it down and see what we would like to do with that. I also found a retro Easter card, and I thought that could be pretty somewhere. It actually, I actually like it on this page better than this. See, I change my mind a lot and move things around. But also, let's go back to the front, because I think I have these up front. I know, sometimes I become too matchy-matchy and overthink things. Oh, I did add these too. These are just little fun things, and I like how, little fun die cuts, and I like how the leaf is hanging out on there, and it's carrot, and thought it went neat with these bunnies. But let me go back to the front, because I just thought of something. See how all this, see how it has those, it has that there. I'm going to do that on the flip side. And because look how great it goes with all that. Sometimes you just have an aha moment as you're working. And this could be neat because this is like egg dye. It could also be neat there, but I feel like that could be too busy. Sort of like it here. We're going to clip it there and come back to it as I decorate the pages. this I wanted to find a home for. So my next video is just going to be full of, you'll just be watching me, and I'll be decorating the pages, embellishing them, attaching fun things to them. So come back and continue following along with me. I think this is going to be a fun project. That looks nice on that page. So yeah, it's just really me going around figuring where the good fits are. And these paper clips are a little too big. I think I want to go with something smaller, and I do have some sitting around here. Anyhow, I could just stick it there for now. But come back and I'll be working more in this journal, and we'll be embellishing it. And I'm going to work on the other one too at the same time. And I hope you're working along with me and having a good time also. This is one of my printables. Maybe that looks cute in there. Oh, I do like that. Okay. Come on back and see me. And I hope you're working along, or you're getting ideas for your next project. I could put a couple different things in there. I could put some eggs, and yep, this is my mind, overthinking everything. Even a bunny, because I have bunnies in the front. We have the negative space from that bunny, but no, I don't like that. That's too busy. There was one more thing that I wanted to show you. I don't know if you saw this in my other video, but it's a punch out, and I used it to make this say Easter. So I thought what could be fun if I do a punch out and we put Meg's name on it. So let me grab what I was going to show you, and we're gonna do a punch out maybe on a Project Life card. Okay, I wanted to show you my fun gadget. It's called Word Punch Board, and it's by Memory Keepers. And I've had it for a while and I forget to use it. So I thought it could be fun to use this Project Life card and put Meg's name on it. And how I'll do that is you put the little punches in there with the letters, and I'm gonna spell out Meg. And I know that, you know what, I'm gonna move it over because I want it to be in the center of this card. And then we're gonna center it. And I thought it would be fun to put this in one of the pockets. So this is a Project Life card, so I think I'm gonna go to this side in case she wants to use the back of that for writing. But I'm going to center that, allowing about the same amount of paper on each side, and we're gonna punch her name in it. I forget that I have this, and it's so fun to do. Look, so we punched Meg's name in it, and I think what I'll do is I'll back it with this pink paper, and so her name will stand out. Because if I put something else behind it that's not solid, her name doesn't stand out as much. So I'm going to cut this paper and trim it and put her name on it. I just wanted to share that little fun idea with you. Alrighty, have a great day and come back and see me, and please subscribe.